All right, y'all. What's going on? Back with another one. Back with your favorite WMMA podcast. Hashtag CB99 Talks. Episode 205. What's up, y'all? What's going on, Tiago? Tiago said good evening. Back with another one, y'all. Yeah, back with another show a little earlier, but I still am getting on a little later. I just wanted to get on now and talk about some of these fights here because later on got a show with my man BJ at 7:30. And of course, we got some things to talk about that, might run over into some time and might take away some topics. So these are some fights I wanted to talk about, of course, this past weekend. And not a lot, of course, that went on with them. But there's some things going on at strawweight. I had to do another little strawweight report here because got a lot of strawweight fights coming up, and I just kind of want to see where 115 is going as well. So yeah, if y'all want to hear us together, uh, going in on a little debate on who the top contender is, Silva or Blanchfield, you can come back at 7:30 as well. So yeah, I'll probably be on here for like an hour, till 7, and then jump back on for that since I got a lot of free time. But yeah, man, yeah, I just wanted to speak on some, strawweight talk. But first, take a look back at this weekend. I didn't really get a chance to do any videos talking about the fights this previous weekend, but I was a little split on both performances. I really wasn't jumping out of my seat this weekend with joy with the fights. I mean, the first fight wasn't bad, right? This fight between Pierre Rodriguez and Ketlin Souza, it wasn't horrible. Um, it was a decent showing, but it answered some questions I had about Ketlin Souza. I picked first off, I picked Pierre Rodriguez to win this fight. I picked Pierre Rodriguez to win this fight. That's who I was going with in this one. I thought she was more of a well-rounded fighter. I thought her skill sets were a little better. Like I said this before in this channel. Like, I never really see anything stand out about Pierre Rodriguez. Like I don't really see her like is this next big threat. But I do see like some good work. As far as her wanting to do different things, like she's not purely a striker and she's not purely a grappler. But Pierre Rodriguez is tough. The girl is tough. Like she's got some heart in there. But again, some better technique than Ketlin Souza. Ketlin Souza, I couldn't pick her because she's one of those fighters that I think, like, again, like I said this before, like I think there's a lot of girls that have power, but I can't really call them like pure knockout artists. Like I'm starting to say that about Macy Barber. I think Macy Barber has heavy hands and she has power, but like I'm not sure she really knows how to set up the knockout. Like I'm just saying, like it's going by the record, like how many people they knocked out. Like Ketlin Souza looked impressive in that Haurigi fight when she dropped Haurigi, but we got to factor in like Haurigi's chin and her defense. Like, I mean, she was dropped and put out by Denise Gomes, right? So I couldn't really just sell Ketlin Souza as this knockout artist. Like, I think the girl has power, but after watching this fight, I just don't think she really has the ability to set up the striking like that. Like, she was having some trouble in there. Like, she landed some decent strikes, but I don't think she ever really had Pierre Rodriguez in trouble. I actually think Pierre Rodriguez was landing better, knees and offense at times when they were in close. Pierre Rodriguez was doing a lot of damage. So I don't know how the judges had this fight a split decision. Like, did y'all see this as a split decision? To me, this was not a split decision. I thought this was clearly, um, did I say 30-27? I think, yeah. I think it was 30-27. I think I said 30-27, right? Because Ketlin didn't win any rounds, right? The first round, Pierre Rodriguez, I thought was winning the striking, but didn't she bag a couple of takedowns too? Didn't she bag like 2 takedowns in the first round to kind of, just put her ahead? And then the second round, didn't she outstrike Ketlin again in the third round? Clearly, you know. Yeah, 30-20. I thought it was purely 30-27. That's what I was trying to remember. Like, was there a round? Is that why it was split? No, it was 30-27. Like, I couldn't give Ketlin any rounds. Like, I think it was the commentators I was listening to. They were like, oh, going into this round, they were telling Pierre Rodriguez that she's behind. Like, I understand, like, maybe the corner of Pierre Rodriguez's urgency, but you have to be honest with your fighter too. Like, I thought she was ahead. Like, they could have like put her in a situation to almost get knocked out. Like, sometimes, like, it's good to tell your fighter that they are clearly ahead, so that way they don't put themselves at risk, thinking that they got to fight hard and lay it all on the line. But I thought she was comfortably ahead. But apparently, maybe they saw the judges' scorecards or heard the judges, because the judges had a split decision. So I didn't see Ketlin Souza winning this fight at all. I mean, I didn't think she did anything in there to showcase 2 rounds, like, let alone one. So no. But overall, I thought Pierre Rodriguez showed a better versatile game. Tiago said she had a low fight IQ. Yeah. And Zama says Souza's clinch is abysmal. Yeah, I didn't like her clinch game. She was getting tore up in the clinch. Pierre Rodriguez was tearing her up to the body. Even in the tie clinch, she was doing whatever she wanted. I don't really like her mid striking either. I don't like her mid range. I don't like her outside striking setup. Like, here and there, like when she let her jab go, her jab was good. And had she like built off of that jab and cut the cage off, she probably could have set up some knockout punches. But they really didn't train to sit down on these shots to get Pierre Rodriguez respect. Like, they landed some good jabs, but outside of that, like, she kind of abandoned the jab, and Pierre just kind of took the fight home. So I thought it was clear win. Moving forward, I think Pierre Rodriguez says she wants to fight a ranked opponent now. I don't know. I don't know if I would say she's ready for a ranked opponent. I mean, she's on a 2-fight win streak right now, I think. Let me check. Pierre Rodriguez just won 2 fights in a row, after losing 2 in a row. And she lost to Jillian, and I think that one fight was a disqualification on her side where it was like intentional headbutts or something like that. Yeah, she beat Josephine Knudsen, who's gone, which is crazy. And now she fought Ketlin Souza to a split decision. So just like with Klein, if I'm going to say Fatima Klein needs to fight 3 unranked fighters, I definitely need to see Pierre Rodriguez fight another unranked fighter. So I don't think that Pierre needs a ranked opponent yet. Who are some other unranked fighters? Who are some other unranked fighters that's out there right now? I think Bruna Brazil's got a fight coming up. What's her name? Talita Alencar, Vanessa Demopoulos. Who's some other fighters? Because I think some other fighters I want to name are already taken. I don't know. She doesn't seem spectacular, to be said, but I'm actually pretty high on Piera. I think she's a smart fighter. I think she's decent. Like, I think she's decent. Like, I can't really say purely smart yet. Like, I think she gets into some wars at times, from the fights I've seen her in. She works with what she has, so I can't blame her on that. She's developing. I think she's definitely developing. Her record shows that. Like, she's got a few finishes back in LFA. Her fight with Sam Hughes was close. Then I remember she lost to Jillian Robertson. Since then, yeah, I think she's kind of built off of that. But yeah, I definitely don't think she's ready for like top 10 or anything like that. There's no problem with growing to me. So I would say go ahead and take your time and fight a couple unranked girls. Who did I say? Demopoulos, Talita Alencar. what's the other tall girl's name? Stephanie Luciano. Is she fighting anybody? Who else is there? Because there's some fighters I can't name right now because they're all taken, but those are probably the ones I like to see. If she goes for somebody ranked, maybe Tisha Torres. Like Tisha Torres at 13 is probably like the only fighter in that lower half there. I think she could beat. Denise Gomes is number 15. Denise Gomes is another fighter that kind of comes up questionable sometimes, questionable IQ. There's a number of questionable IQ fighters. So I just think that for Pierre Rodriguez, there's time for her to develop. There's no rush. I mean, she is 32, but I think the more time she takes to develop, then the faster she can move up, right? She'll start running through the right fighters if she's getting better, right? So yeah, not a bad fight. I kind of thought it would end in a finish, whether it had been Ketla Souza knocking Pierre Rowdy or Pierre Rodriguez maybe submitting her, but definitely wasn't a bad fight. I thought they both were on their game with what they could work with. Now this fight here, oh boy. I started looking at Kel Rosa and said, you know what? Kel Rosa is one that I've counted out in the past. Started to counter out in this one, man, but Nora Cornolle, man, like I just thought maybe when I seen, in her last fight with Haley Cowan, as far as her ground game, maybe showing some development. I think Kel Rosa is stronger than, we think she is on the ground. Maybe as far as like her strength ability, I think she's a little underrated, but as far as like her pure ground game or technique, I don't think she really has any focus on developing that. Like she purely is just like a street fighter when she's in there. Like she brawls, her striking is, I'd say, her best suit still, and she can take you down. But when she takes you down, that's about it. You don't really expect her to submit anybody, right? Like, let me see. How many fighters has Kel Rosa submitted? Like, I don't think she submitted anybody in the UFC. I know she's taken Jocelyn Edwards down and just laid there. Let's see. She's won against Yana Santos, lost to Eileen Perez. That shows you how much better Eileen Perez's game is compared to Nora Cornolle's, right? She's got one submission, Tamiris Vidal, 6 years ago. All right. Okay, no, she submitted one other opponent outside of UFC 8 years ago. So two submissions out of her whole. Wait, no. 2 submissions. Hold on. She hadn't finished anybody in the UFC. Surprise. Yeah, Kel Rosa, I would say she's just that brawler type. We could just sell her as the brawler type. She's definitely not a knockout artist either. Like sometimes sometimes the performances in the opponent's faces kind of trick us or deceive us. But really, when you look at these resumes, these girls ain't really knocking people out like that or finishing people. Kel Rosa, she fights like a finisher, but she's not a finisher. She ain't knocked anybody out. Like really, like she ain't submitted anybody in the UFC either. She ain't finished anybody, and still has trouble with that. But yeah, like she's got this ability to take girls down that run in, but has no game as far as like submission. Like she couldn't even get the arm triangle choke. I thought at one point in the second round I thought we were gonna see Nora Cornolle tap, but never came. It never came. So that just kind of shows, her ground game's not really great. She's got good top control, but outside of that, no finishing technique in there, not even on the feet. Cornolle was having a decent first round. The first round was okay. All right. It was all right. But I could see when she got hit by a couple of big punches from Carol Rosa, she went in respect mode. Like she felt Carol Rosa's power. Like I know Nora Cornolle wanted to come after her a couple of times. Like she did come after her, but when she got hit with that right hand, I saw her kind of go back and say, "Okay, uh, let me rethink this." She thought she was probably going to run through Carol Rosa, but you could see it in her actions. Like when she got hit, she took a step back. She was like, "Oh no, let me take a step back." So no, Nora Cornolle still needs to really work on like her I would say her ability to just build a lead and not worry about brawling. Like she needs to work off her jab and you know look for counter strikes. And she did have some okay moments with her back to the cage. I'd say like good control, but Carol Rosa is strong. Like Carol Rosa is very strong. She reversed her a couple of times, but that tie clinch was kind of abandoned in this fight from Nora Cornolle, and that's where I was just like, okay, now I'm seeing the IQ. Cornolle got slammed big time. I think it was the second or third round when Carol Rosa just double leg, boom, took her down and kept her down. Just no get up from Nora Cornolle whatsoever. Last two rounds, she just got drowned. She was just done. Like I almost done with trying to get up. She just survived the last two rounds. I don't know what it was. Maybe she just kind of fizzled out somewhere, or just kind of felt like, oh, I can't do anything else on the ground to get up here, counter her attack. So a lot of work from Nora Cornolle. This answered a lot of questions with her. I kind of thought like she would have had this trouble against Haley Cowan on the ground, but I said, okay, she found an opening to get a submission. Here, she couldn't find an opening to get up. So I guess it's Carol Rosa's experience. Carol Rosa's experience is what pulled her through. And I think Carol Rosa can continue to win against these type of girls. But if they got real, true skills and talent, that's where she kind of fails. Like, again, that's why I say I got to give Eileen Perez credit. Eileen Perez definitely shows more of a well-rounded game than Nora Cornolle, Carol Rosa is a complete fighter. I can't really say she's a complete fighter. I mean, she might have a black belt in BJJ, but it's all in how you use it. You know what I mean? Like you can have all the skills, but I got to see the skills come through. Like your champions are definitions of complete fighters, right? Like Valentina truly is a complete fighter. She's used everything, adapted in every situation, and checked every box off. I think Carol Rosa's learned everything, but hasn't properly executed it, if that makes sense. I would say Eileen Perez has shown more signs, sadly. I'd say Eileen Perez has shown more signs of a budding complete fighter than Carol Rosa has, because she's used a little bit of everything. She's used everything to get it to victory. Takedowns, clinch game, striking, submission game. I don't think Eileen Perez is a black belt, but she'll probably get it at some point here in the UFC, with like a submission win. So, yeah, I definitely think Carol Rosa's been run through the circuit as far as learning different things. But like I said, you can learn everything or you can know of everything, but that doesn't make you complete until you actually do everything. Like I have people on the job like that. Like I know people say, oh, I've done this before, but do you really? Or, you know what I mean? Not really complete because they can't do it all. I've seen Carol Rosa in the past. I mean, the perfect example of Carol Rosa is not a complete fighter is the Eileen Perez fight or the Irene Aldana fight, right? So yeah, but can she move on from this? I don't know. Nor can Carol Rosa move forward. Is there any fighters that she can get back into the? Let me see. 135. Is there any fights that she can get back into the mix against? Did she ever fight Misha Tate? Carol Rose is number 9, right? Oh dang, yeah, Carol Rose is number 9. They moved her up one spot. Still in the top 10. Okay. Um, who's Myra Buena Silva fighting? Carol Rosa versus Myra Buena Silva. It's not bad. That's something I would do. I think Myra Buena Silva's got to fight though, right? Who's Myra Buena Silva fighting? Hold on. Myra Buena Silva really struggling to find a home. 125 or 135. Man, Myra Buena Silva blew it, man. She had she had that title. Well, she didn't have the title shot secure. Well, she had it almost on lock. Like Myra Buena Silva, she was playing chess for a minute, and Myra Buena Silva was close to getting the title shot. All she had to do was come through in that Rocky fight. You know, she had to. All she had to do was put everything on the line, blood, sweat, and tears. Go in there and get it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the closest she'll ever get to a title shot. She played chess really well at that point because she moved up at the perfect time when Kayla wasn't at the top. 135 at the time was dry. You know, Pena was still inactive, and Rocky was the champion. Like Rocky, no disrespect to Rocky, like Rocky was probably the only champion Myra Buena Silva had any chance of beating. Because I don't think Myra Buena Silva would beat Pena. Definitely ain't beating Kayla Harrison. I mean, for one, like if you ever seen that training footage of Kayla and Myra Buena Silva training together, Kayla was tossing her up. Kayla was tossing her around. Myra Buena Silva, look, 3 losses in a row with a no contest against Holly. She ain't experienced a victory since 2023 against Lena Landsberg. You know, winning them 3 fights at bantamweight, then she lost. Well, her last loss was at 125 against Jasmine. She was supposed to fight Jocelyn Edwards. She was supposed to fight Jocelyn Edwards in August, but now Jocelyn Edwards is fighting Cachoeira. Okay, she's supposed to fight Jocelyn Edwards now. Okay, so Myra Buena Silva doesn't have a fight. So whatever's wrong with Myra Buena Silva, yeah, reschedule Myra Buena Silva against Carol Rosa so we can get like a bloody war. That's about all we can get. Let me see. Who else? Nora Cornolle. Nora Cornolle is in the middle. Like she's number 12. Like she's not close to getting dropped out of the rankings. So Nora Cornolle might need to fight somebody unranked. No, they can't do that. Go ahead and make Nora Cornolle and Misha Tate. If she can't win that fight, then you know what time it is. Because that's not saying that's gonna be too hard for her. You know, Misha Tate is 20-10. Wow, Misha Tate's 20-10. Misha Tate's 20-10. Misha Tate's lost to Ketlin, Lauren, Yana. Oh, okay. 1-3 in her last 4 fights. Last fight she won was 2023 against Julia Avila. So yeah, that's the fight I'll take for her. Misha Tate hasn't fought a young gun in a while. So yeah, make that happen. Yeah. Do that fight. Do Myra Buena Silva versus Carol Rosa and Misha Tate versus Nora Cornolle. And if Nora Cornolle can't win that fight, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. If she can't win that fight, and I'll leave it at that. All right, so that was all that went on this weekend. I wanted to look here at some strawweights, because strawweight division low key is I won't say it's struggling at the top, but let me see here. Yeah, the strawweight division is not really struggling at the top, but it could be a little bit more exciting. But there low key is a lot of stuff going on here at the bottom. There's some good fights that they are putting together, and there are some fighters that are low key on the come up. Past couple weekends, There've been some big finishes and some girls that we got to look out for. Some new signings, some matchups that need to happen in top 10. There's still some questions on what Whaley is going to do. Where is this going to leave Dern and Verna? What's Verna going? What's Verna's situation? Is she going to get a title shot, or does she have to fight Dern again? What's up, right? So, yeah, the top 15 is kind of going through a transition, and it was bound to happen. 115 is gonna not. It's gonna dry out at some point. Every division has its day because every fighter, has their day. So as a whole, 115 is low key transitioning. Like we've seen a lot of the matches in the top 5, right? From Verna, Suarez, Jan, Amanda, Andrade, Dern. If you look at the top 6 and Whaley included, everybody's kind of fought everybody. The last half, you got some old fighters in there like Angela Hill and Tisha, Ebos now. But then you got some fresh faces like Jillian Robertson. And so you see Loma. Well, Loma's finally ranked, right? Ain't that nice? Loma Labuti's finally ranked. You got my girl right here on the come up, like I got in the picture, who just scored a big win for Team Klein. Tabitha Ricci. So really, I'm just kind of looking at, the whole 115 division right now and looking at the matches that we got coming up as the matches already happened. Like so far, like I said, they're kind of kicking it off right, the lower half here. We got, like I said, my girl Fatima Klein with this big win over Melissa Martinez. I picked Fatima Klein to win this one, no doubt. I thought she was going to either submit this girl or maybe just maul her to death, but it was refreshing to see Klein score a head kick knockout, because now it makes us think, okay, this girl's got some well-rounded skills, And this is what you want to see. Like, you want to see a practitioner, somebody that's known for jiu-jitsu, go in there and score a head kick, because now you're like, okay, this girl, she's not a fish out of water. Like, Klein is falling in love with her striking. Like, she ain't scared to strike. Like, again, no disrespect. Like, when Jillian Robertson first came in, Jillian submitting girls, right? But you could see how uncomfortable she was on the feet. Like, Jillian Robertson, she was struggling. She looked, let's be real, she looked bad on the feet. She looked horrible when it came to her stand-up in the very beginning. But, like, Klein, I can see her, throwing the jab long, throwing the right hand, throwing up body kicks, head kicks, and all of that. It's like she's loving it. And I think that's what a complete fighter works towards. They can switch it up. That head kick, man, it was monster. And the thing is, she knocked the striker out. You know what I mean? Like, she knocked the striker out. I was like, at some point, maybe Melissa Martinez would catch Fatima coming in with like a counter shot, but it was like, oh man, this girl had nothing. Then boom, knockout. That was sick. So Klein is definitely somebody we got to look out for. Easy said Ricci. What's up, y'all? What's up, Paul? Paul. Tabitha Ricci, man. Tabitha Ricci, again, is another, I think, good chess player. First off, on the left, Fatima Klein is definitely a fighter I think we'll see rise to the top. I think it was Henry Cejudo. He was on his Twitter or whatever. And not that I really need his input. I'm just saying, like, I see that he's really acknowledging the fact that Fatima Klein could be champion. I think he said in 2027, 2026. I think he said he sees Fatima Klein becoming the new champ by 2027. So that means he has been watching her and he sees what she's doing. So, I'm glad he's looking at these fighters like that. Some people don't even know who she is, a lot of these casual fans. But what do y'all think? Like, I think Fatima Klein is showing some signs of a top 5, top 10 fighter. What do y'all think? I think Klein has it, It's going to take some growth, of course, but what do y'all think? Ricci on the right here. I think that again she's playing chess well, but I'm not going to take away from her victory here. She did what she needed to do. She sat down on them clinch shots. She found a weakness in her opponent. And that might be her thing. That might be her thing. She needs to kind of adapt in certain situations. I think Tabitha Ricci is a fighter that has to kind of adapt in every fight since, she's so short and she has to make up for, lack of height and reach here in these fights. And, we've seen it in the past, girls like Carla Esparza, Tisha Torres, they all have to kind of find their niche, to get it done. Surprisingly, Carla was able to do it, though. I mean, people forget Carla took down big old Yan Xiaonan and beat her. I mean, beat the mess out of Yan Xiaonan. People forget Carla Esparza did that. Carla Esparza beat the mess out of Yan Xiaonan. She stopped Rose early in her career, beat Rose in the second fight as far as just mentally, So Carla Esparza had a one up on some of these girls. So anything is possible. Anything is possible in this game, So I think Tisha just needs like a couple of things to be focused to really, excuse me, did I say Tisha? Tabitha Ricci needs a couple of things that she really needs to focus on to do that. But it's hard when the game is evolving, right? Like she was struggling to take Ebos down. That's the one thing I was catching. I know y'all caught it, right? Like she was struggling to take Ebos down. And I know she has good jiu-jitsu. She's got a black belt too. See, like Tabitha Ricci got a black belt too, but she was struggling to get a takedown in this fight. She was struggling. And had that elbow not come, it probably would have been a more competitive fight. But again, she did what she needed to do to move forward. So now they just kind of have to size her up against all these other fighters. And I'm not going to go easy here. Look, this is the top 10. So I want to see Ricci versus the loser of Suarez Lemos. I know y'all want to say I'm mean, but at least I'm giving her the loser of Suarez Lemos, right? That's going to force Ricci to get better. That's going to force Ricci to have to get better in her striking and, force her to get stronger. I mean, look at girl Talita Alencar. She looked like a little mini Carla, getting all strong all of a sudden and taking down old girl. What's her name? Vanessa Demopoulos. So, yeah. You got this girl here. Yeah, you got Ricci doing her thing in the top 5. I mean, I don't personally, if you ask me, I don't see her in the top 5 yet. Might be a while. All right, 2B said, yeah, Fatima definitely going to make top 5. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. Easy said Henry only saying that because he wants to train her. Hey, at least he likes to train the women, though, right? At least he likes to train the women, and he's watching. So he's gonna try to, sign that training deal. All right. Flower said, honestly, after Verna, I don't know who can become champion. He said, I think Carla has better wrestling, and she stuck to it. Didn't try to mix it up on the feet when she didn't have to. Yeah, she stuck to her wrestling. That's what made her good. That's what made her really good. Like she was a good, very good wrestler. She could hang on the inside and out. Easy said, I knew Ricci would take Ebos. Ebos been done in my eyes. Oh man, I don't know. Like I thought Ebos was looking good in the first round. I think that that tender eye, man. I think that tender eye is what ended it, man. That tender eye is what really took her out of this fight. But that's a part of being done, right? If the body gives out, it gives out. So, yeah, Klein, as far as like what we're looking forward to, we got Klein to look forward to. We got Ricci in the top 10. This weekend, we got... All right, we got this fight coming up. We got Yasmin Lucindo, Angela Hill. And then they selling this fight kind of big. This is third fight from the main event. Yeah. They got this as third from the main event this weekend. Yasmin Lucindo and Angela Hill. And I think I talked a little bit about it a week ago, but this is part of the report here, though. Strawweights. We got this fight coming up. Lucindo, she's ranked 8. Angela Hill is number 12. I think this is another good test for a Lucindo. But Angela Hill, she's been known to kind of shatter some dreams. I'm really looking forward to a Lucindo making a statement. And this is nothing against Angela Hill. Angela Hill just kind of loses. She loses that consistency with me, man. Like, I'm not the only one, right? Come on. Like, Angela Hill has a win loss pattern, or vice versa. Loss, loss, win, loss. It's like a beat. It's like a beat. It's like win, loss, loss, win. Like, she be cha-cha her way to the top 15, then boom, boom, she get knocked back. It's like a salsa step for her. She'll step forward 2 times, take a step back. What's that song called? That cha-cha slide? I hated that song. It was something like that, man. That's her thing, man. She's like a cha-cha fighter. She be stepping, she step forward twice, step once back, step forward once, take 2 steps back. So at her age and looking at her record, I don't think she'll be in the top 5 for a challenge to the title. She actually thinks this fight is a title eliminator too. I was looking at an interview. I didn't even watch the interview. She had said, Angela Hill said she thinks this fight's going to get her that top, that contender spot. I'm like, nah, it ain't. Mackenzie Dern is closer to it than she is. And, I'm even giving Mackenzie Dern a hard time. Mackenzie might make the argument more. Well, she would make the argument more so because she already, beat Angela Hill up pretty bad, So I don't see her as that. But Lucindo's got to prove that. Lucindo's got to do the tough task of, sending her back down. And Lucindo in her last couple fights, she was kind of struggling with some veterans. She was struggling with, what is her name? She kind of struggled with Lamo San Marino a little bit. She got cracked big time in those fights. But I don't think Lucindo's got to really worry about power here against Angela Hill. She just got to worry about experience and just like being taken into deep waters and movement. She's got to be worried about the movement. And Angela Hill's ground game is getting better. So I just don't see Lucindo taking Angela Hill down and holding her down. Angela Hill's get-up game has gotten better. And, I think her jiu-jitsu is kind of underrated now, too. So Lucindo could get submitted. You never know. So I'm not going, go on here and say, oh, it's easy when you take Angela Hill to the ground. Angela Hill, you're going to just have to outlast her and outwork her, out-youth her and outstrength her at this point, like not Tisha Torres, but Tabitha Ricci did. I just think it's too risky. If Angela Hill wins this and then, moves on, it's just going to knock another potential contender out of the box. Because I just see it in Angela Hill's record. Like, I think Angela Hill's kind of reached her level. She's kind of like the Emmanuel Augustus in boxing. The Emmanuel Augustus in WMMA, if you follow boxing. Like, he's a journeyman that's really, really tough to beat. Even like Floyd Mayweather struggled with him. Dude's got like this weird record of like 30 wins and 20 losses. And when you look at the record, you get kind of excited thinking you about to fight somebody easy, but then you in there with a really tough opponent that just won't go down, right? That's kind of how Angela Hill is. They fight just enough to fight and win. So hopefully, Lucindo is on her game and ready to show that she's top 10 material. You know what I mean? No, I don't like no cha-cha slide. I don't like no cha-cha slide. Axel said, do you think if Angela Hill lost, she will re-sign to the UFC? If she's on her final fight here, she might re-sign. But because I don't really think she's like in bad standing with the UFC, because it's not like she loses in the most horrible fashion, because she's got a lot of decisions on her resume that are, controversial. I could see her signing another deal, maybe for like 2-3 more fights, but it won't be very long because she's ran through like everybody in the division. Like, she's been matched up. Let me put it that way, She ain't ran through everybody, but she's been matched up with everybody. So Angela Hill's kind of in a place now where um, she could be coming up on her last days. She could be coming up on her last days. Like if she was to resign, maybe it'd be like 3 fights. But I think I would kind of if she loses this fight pretty bad, I think it could be it. That could be it for her because she's held on to this low rank for a while. But after you fight everybody, what else can you do? Really, what else can you do? This doesn't lead to a title shot, right? This weekend. So who do y'all think wins this fight? Who do y'all think wins this one this weekend? I mean, you know, I'm gonna say Lucindo has the ability to do it, but you just never know. I wouldn't be surprised if Angela wins. Let me just keep it that way. I don't even think I really want to go in and pick on this one. All right. What's the next strawweight fight we got coming up? Let me look through this list here. Yeah. Hold on. Here's the next fight. Here is the next fight coming down. Oh boy, here's another one. Speaking of lots of wins and lots of losses, Jessica Andrade, Loopy Godinez gets her shot at a big dog, a former champion. This one's the next weekend, August 16th. For UFC 319, we got Andrade and Loopy fighting. I kind of thought Loopy was like the second coming of Andrade as far as like Loopy being this little powerhouse, because Loopy used to slam girls. Loopy used to be in there slamming girls too. She just didn't really have the same type of power that Andrade had. But Loopy, she used to pick girls up, man. She used to pick them up and slam them like pre-UFC and a couple of times in the UFC. So yeah, I thought she was gonna be that. But there was a time when I said, okay, Loopy be somewhere fighting Weili around like top 5, but that kind of fell through. I think she's another one that doesn't really have that high IQ. Good boxing, but sometimes she doesn't wrestle enough. Another one that's kind of inconsistent. I like watching the fight. Believe me, her and Demopoulos, that's a classic fight. That wasn't even in the UFC yet, but that's one of my favorite WMMA fights. So let me say that Loopy is a fun fighter to watch, but does she win this fight? She can't fight to the level of her opponent here, meaning, she can't go in there and try to stand and bang. Like, she's got to box. She got to box on the back foot. She got to use her jab. And I'll say she's got to use her takedowns here. She's got to wrestle. Like, I think her best bet might be to take this fight to the ground. Because people try to say Andrade now is going to be this great fighter on the ground. But no, like, Andrade, it's been a while since she got down and dirty. It's been a while since she's got down and dirty, on the ground and submitted somebody. So I don't know. Like, if Loopy wants to abandon her wrestling in this fight. Like, if you're going to strike against Andrade, it's got to be outside game. I don't know if she can do that long enough. I think she could probably out wrestle Andrade on the ground for longer periods. She's younger. Her wrestling is good. And we just seen Andrade get handled in some positions on the ground. So I don't see it working out for her. Andrade, I don't see it working out for her on the ground like that. Should be a good fight, though. Do y'all see Loopy getting finished? Because Loopy's never been finished, has she? No. Loopy, let's take a look. Air Mike, what's up? He said she's a dog. Who's a dog? I think both fighters are dogs. Loopy is hot and cold. Andrade is always dangerous, but hasn't been in it for real lately. And that's what makes this a fight that Loopy should be able to bag. I mean, let's get hot tonight. Let's get hot that weekend, Loopy. Come on now. This is another fight. That I'm rooting for Loopy, though, because got to get these new fighters in here. gotta make them start taking this thing seriously. Like I gotta make them gotta wake up, man, because that belt is not too far away. These girls are getting ranked. They better stop playing. When I look at girls like Erin, Natalia, and Manon, they don't be playing. You know what I mean? They got to the top. They weren't playing. You know, when they got matched up, they were beating girls. That's it. They were beating them. Loopy be kind of hot and cold. Lucindo, what is her name? Ricci. See, Ricci's starting it off. All right, Ricci's starting it off by beating Ebos. Lucindo's got to keep it going by beating Angela Hill. Loopy's got to keep it going by beating Jessica Andrade. And you see how they matching them up. They trying to get them out. They're trying to get Andrade, Hill, and Ebos out of the top 10 because they all getting old. So trying to match these young girls up and give them a chance. So they got to capitalize. I really wouldn't be surprised if Andrade got a stoppage here. I really wouldn't, but I think Loopy's going to step her game up. I'm hoping. And I think Loopy might get a... Is it possible to get a decision against Andrade? Sometimes I feel like you got to go in there and stop her nowadays. You got to go in there and stop her. I don't know if Loopy got stopping power like that. Loopy's one of the rare fighters I got to see, and I never got to see in action. To be said, Loopy better use her defense while they standing. Yeah, I really don't see I don't see Loopy's nose standing up to an Andrade punch, so she got to be careful. Her defense got to be on game. Got to be on game. Easy said Andrade fighting every other card now. Yeah, she's working. She's fighting every other card. So she's always a name to kind of build off of. But I think Loopy got to go straight for the ground in this fight. That's the last thing I'm going to say on that for now until a couple of weeks. All right. Oh, boy. Come on, Loopy. Do something. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not rooting against these older fighters because I dislike them or anything. Like, I just want to see the division keep moving. Okay. September 27th. I might go a little out of order here. Let's drop down here. I'm moving on here. September 27th, we got this fight coming up. Loma Labugni and Alexia Thainera. Loma is ranked number 14. There's no top fighters in line for her because, she just got ranked and everybody's taken. So she's got to fight an unranked fighter. Alexia Thainera, she came in making some noise in her UFC Contender Series fight. And she recently retired Molly McCann on short notice, too. On short notice, she came in and made some noise. So good on her. I think Thainera, she's kind of a fun fighter. She has some decent stand-up game, but she got that submission game as well. Real exciting type of style. So really, this was going to be hard to call, I think, because Loma has the experience, but what usually causes Loma to fall on the back foot is her size compared to these girls, right? Loma's got some fierce kicks. I think we all agree with that. Loma's got some very, very fierce Muay Thai kick, clinch, knees, and, heavy body kicks. But usually she'll kind of fall short to better grapplers. And I think Thainera is a solid grappler and kind of a big girl, for Loma. This girl right here kind of blows up. I mean, I think she's like 5'4", but got a decent reach at 67, and I see her do a little bit of everything in there in her fights. She beat that girl Rosa Conceicao in the Contender Series, who is LFA champion. Yeah. Came straight in, and whooped Molly McCann, which, Molly's not like best fighter, but that's still big for her. Somebody that coming in hot, and young. So I think Thainera has a well-rounded game to go in here and earn her a ranking. That's the thing. Like Thainera, when she fights these fights, she's waking up. She's kind of exciting like that. But I just don't want her to get too caught up in the theatrics. I know she like to come in dancing and acting up, maybe that hypes her up to win fights. If it does, don't stop. But I hope she's laser focused fighting Loma, because this one gets her into the rankings. This gets her into the rankings. I mean, if she wins, she's in the rankings. Like she's ranked number 14. She ain't got to wait. So the minute she wins this, boom, she's ranked. So from here, she got to be showing a well-rounded game. Easy said Thainera has a lot of upside. I was heavy on her when she fought Molly. Okay. Yeah, Molly McCann, not really like I said, it's a huge win, but it was a veteran. So I'm gonna give Thainera full credit. Short notice and everything, right? So Thainera came in, did work. This fight is big for her. This fight is big for her, because if she can win this in dominant fashion, I'm gonna start putting her name out there. I'm gonna put her name out there like Klein. If she destroys Loma, gets ranked, then we got somebody to look out for. Okay. All right. Who else do we got? I'm kind of moving through. Oh yeah. This ain't a UFC. Well, it is considered a UFC fight. I mean, it goes on their professional record, right? But it's not an official fight. Like USC, it's still not considered UFC debut, because they're fighting for the contract. September 9th. Chanel Dyer is taking on Carol Foro. For some of y'all newbies that don't know, Chanel Dyer is a PFL fighter, ex-PFL fighter. She recently left, and she signed to Contender Series to fight for a contract for the UFC. But she's moving down from 125 to 115. So now she's taking on this undefeated Brazilian, Carol Foro, who, well, no. She's undefeated, 6-0. Carol Foro is 8-1. So this is kind of a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. Both fighters got some big finishes. Carol Foro, she stopped a lot of girls. With body shots. I'm looking at Carol Foro's record. First round knockout was her last win. Before that, knocked the girl out to the body. Before that, knocked the girl out to the body. Before that, spinning back kick. Before that, knocked the girl out with the right hook. Before that, another first round knockout. Okay. Carol Foro ain't no joke. I mean, for their levels. So Carol Foro might be a problem, because Chanel Dyer's not a full-fledged UFC fighter yet. So this fight I'm gonna have to watch some of that girl's fight. Carol Foro, I'm gonna have to watch some of her fights, because she got a lot of first round knockouts by body shots, kicks, headshots. I'm gonna see what she's working with. Chanel Dyer, good Muay Thai fighter. She's got quite a few finishes, but her last performance against Scatizzi wasn't the best. Like, she couldn't run through Scatizzi like Venuska and Dakota did. So maybe she feels like she needs to move down. Maybe she's moving down, and she feels like her power and her strength and size could be more present there. And I mean, she's not that big anyway. Like, Chanel Dyer is not like this huge girl anyway. So Chanel Dyer's like, what, 23, 24? 24. She's 5'6". She's a tall. She'll make a tall strawweight. She's like almost up there for Team McCline. So if she's able to come in here and use her Muay Thai game and footwork and her striking, she'll make it interesting. So we'll see how the fight looks, coming up in September. All right. Okay. But yeah, tonight I'm gonna watch this Carol Foro's record. Then I might have to jump on later and do a video talking about it, because Carol Foro got some knockouts. I don't want to see Chanel. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to go in there and underestimate Carol Foro, because she's knocking some. I want to see what she's working with these body shots. I don't see that on too many girls' records. You knock two people out back to back to the body. You only do that if you Dakota, right? But this girl got some knockouts, so we'll see. Okay. Well, I'm pulling up this next fight. What are y'all talking about? To be said, one thing I do like to do, combo, is pay close attention to the opponent's records in comparison to them when they fought them. Yeah, yeah, most definitely. What else? Let's see. Okay, going down the list here. We gotta work. We gotta work. Do some fights. Oh yeah, gotta talk about my girl here. Sam Hughes is taking on. Come on now. Stuff is taking a while to load up here. There we go. All right. Give me 1 second. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. There it is. Yeah. Sam Hughes and Shauna Bannon. I think my stream might be running kind of slow. Good thing I ain't using OBS because it'll be acting up. Give me a second. Yeah, it must be running slow. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I can still hear y'all or hear me on y'all's end, but my end, man, it's like always taking forever here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, good thing I ain't using OBS. Okay, so yeah, September 6th. This was going down on the September 6th card. Shauna Bannon and Sam Hughes. All right, so yeah, for me, I think Sam Hughes is developing slowly but surely as a fighter, and that's what it takes for some fighters. Like I think low key, like Sam has been looking better even in the back. As far as like behind the scenes, I think Sam Hughes is really getting stronger, and she's doing some really solid strength and conditioning to really work on like her power and just athleticism. And I think that was something she was lacking when she first jumped into the UFC. So I think that's going to make a big difference moving forward. Preparing, the preparation is looking solid when it comes to like her work in the in the gym right now. So yeah, I think what Sam possesses, it's going to help carry her further. And she needs these kind of fights to test out how her body feels and things like that, just to grow. Shauna Bannon, I think this is kind of a easy fight for. I'm not trying to be disrespectful here again. I'm just saying like this should be an easy fight because Sam's got the experience. She's fought so many different type of styles since fighting Tisha Torres with her first fight 5 years ago. I know she's had some close decisions in the past. Yeah, Sam's never really been like this fighter that got dominated, because there's some arguably controversial fights like her loss to Pinheiro and Pierre Rodriguez are kind of close. I say the most convincing loss she had was Yasmin Jauregui, who was just too fast and too athletic for her. But somebody like Shauna Bannon, I don't really see Shauna Bannon bringing too much of a game that she can't handle. Like that last fight with Shauna Bannon where she was doing that kick. Y'all remember that kick where she was like hopping around on one leg? Hey, I can't even say nothing because it won her the fight. Well, the kick didn't win her. Well, the kick kind of won her the fight because the kick got her knocked down, and then she gets a submission. So everything won, right? Everything came together. So I was just tripping on Shauna Bannon's leg kick that time. Like she was just hopping around on one foot. That karate kick, she's hopping around on one leg, and Pooja Tomar had no answer for it. So I don't see Sam Hughes falling for that. Like she ain't falling for that okito. Shauna is gonna have to do a little bit more. Sam got this on lock. She could grab that leg, take her down, out strike or out wrestler. I think Sam got this one easy. This is a good stay busy fight for her. Hopefully, if she bags this fight, Sam can, keep it going and get a top 15 here. Maybe from there fight somebody like the winner of that'll give her 3. Maybe she could fight like a fight with Denise Gomes or one of the loser of those low rank fights. So yeah, this one shouldn't be too hard for Sam. Oh yeah. Did I talk about this fight? When I brought up low rank fighters, I'm not. Not being funny. I'm just saying. Speaking of like the lower ranked fighters, we got Julia Pilostri and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. This one's coming out October 11th. All right. Pilostri, man, she's violent, man. Pilostri is violent. I like that, but I'm not seeing enough tools. I'm just not seeing enough tools. Like, and that's okay. I mean, it'll come. It'll come. You know, it'll get there if she's really willing to improve and work. So, uh, you might see some of those things in this fight. Like, I think she needs to like become more of a dirty boxer. Don't leave herself so far open. Like, if you're not gonna be working from the outside, like you gotta be doing something effective in there. And I think Karolina Kowalkiewicz is gonna make her do that. Like, Karolina might be done to a lot of people, but Karolina Kowalkiewicz is low key still winning some of these fights. Like, Karolina ain't gonna beat like the top 10 or like the top 5, definitely, but there's still some girls out there. She's kind of like Angela Hill. She can expose. Honestly, I think her and Angela Hill should fight a retirement fight. If Angela Hill loses and Karolina loses, Angela Hill and Karolina need to fight in their careers after that. What do y'all think? Yes or no? All right. Yeah, not Carol. Karolina Kowalkiewicz should wrestle. Karolina Kowalkiewicz should wrestle. Mm-hmm. She should wrestle. But to avoid the power, yeah. And I think she definitely has some ground game elements in here that could give Pilostri problems. Pilostri is violent on the feet, but you can kind of tame her on the ground. So this one here is going to be explosive. I've said in the past where I thought Karolina would get stopped, but Pilostri might be the one to actually stop her if she really starts to hurt this girl. I think the hurt will come from, years and years of punishment. But again, she might stand up to the beating. She might stand up to the beating, especially if her jab is working. Like, Karolina's been jabbing more, like double jabbing and triple jabbing, so that could keep her in the fight. As far as significance, I think, it's going to answer Pilostri's questions as far as, is she ready to evolve against a veteran? Can she handle this many years of experience? We'll see. Yeah, Karolina should wrestle. She should wrestle in this fight. Remember when Karolina was contender? Yeah, I was talking about that last show, man. Like, Karolina, Claudia, and Andrade, they were the top 3 under Joanna. But then Karolina lost to both, remember? Zama said crazy thing. Bannon went to a decision with Dakota in the amateurs. Oh, yeah, I'll do you one even crazier. Shauna Bannon stopped Chanel Dyer in the amateurs. How about that? Let me pull that up. Hold on. I know I was looking at that the other day. Hold on. Where is it? You said Dakota. Yeah, back in 2020. Yeah, she lost to Dakota by decision, but she stops Chanel Dyer. Also, ain't that crazy? Kind of makes you wonder what. I have to go back and look at some of these amateur fights. Like, are they fighting these amateur fights right after a 9 to 5? You know what I mean? Like, after attending the bar or just going out on a date, because some of these amateur records don't really match up like how you see they look in the professionals. You know what I mean? Like, to think Shauna Bannon went the distance with Dakota, and then to think she stopped Chanel Dyer, you're like, wow. Weird, very weird. All right. Okay, what else do we got? Oh yeah. Y'all didn't think I knew about this, right? Jacqueline Amram and Missing in Action Mizuki. That's what I'm gonna say. Missing MIA Mizuki. Mizuki Inui, right? Hold on. Where's she been, man? This fight's being talked about. Like, it's not finalized. It's not. I saw it pop up somewhere on IG the other day. It's not final. Jacqueline Amram taking on Mizuki Inui, like, in a way, but they didn't like finalize the date. Right? they didn't really finalize a date for this fight. I just saw it, so I thought I'd put it up here because Jacqueline Amram's kind of going under the radar a little bit here. I haven't really heard much from her since her last fight. I don't think. Who was her last fight? Hold on. Who was her last fight? Jacqueline Amorim. April 2025, she choked out Poliana Viana. Since losing to Sam Hughes, she's won 4 finishes in a row. She stopped Montserrat Ruiz, Cora McKenna, Vanessa Demopoulos, and Poliana Viana. And her submissions been freak submissions too. Not by accident. I'm just saying, like, she got girls screaming. She had Corey McKenna screaming. Vanessa Demopoulos, like, not even like screaming in pain, but she just, I don't know. There's something about them fights where Demopoulos, she was complaining to the ref about the glove. Corey McKenna was trying to talk about some weight, it's like when it's locked in, they know it's locked in, and they like, oh man, I need more time. I need more time. No, it's too late. That's how quick Amram is with her submission game. And that's why I got to give Sam Hughes a lot more credit. Like, Sam didn't crumble like these girls. Sam took this girl 3 rounds with pure wrestling. Like, Sam Hughes was on the ground with her. That just shows you, like, Sam, you got a lot to work with. Like, she got a foundation to work with compared to these other girls. Corey McKenna, I thought, was a complete fighter. But she made the mistake and got submitted right into armor. Vanessa Demopoulos is a good submission practitioner herself. But she got locked in and locked out real quick. Poliana Viana, she was an armbar girl, right? Poliana Viana used to submit a lot of girls with arm bars, remember? I don't know about in the UFC, but she came in kind of hot. A few arm bars in the UFC. But Amram, she shut all that mess down. But yeah, Sam's the one that really came in, took her to school. Took her 3 rounds and made her get better. So Amram, yeah, she's still a dangerous fighter. She's still a dangerous fighter, So this one here is going to answer some questions. Like, Inouye's got a pretty good clinch game. She can force a fight to the cage and control you. She can smother you. I just haven't seen. It's been so long, man. Like, Amram's riding the high game right now. Amram is better as far as, like, her activity. She's working, using her reach better. She's working with the right people. Activity is what's going to get her this fight. If I had to pick early, I don't know. There's not a date yet. We don't even know if this is on lock. But when was her last fight? Come on. When was Mizuki's last fight? I got to start wrapping this one up here in a minute. But Hannah Goldie, 2 years ago. She has not fought since Hannah Goldie 2 years ago. Before that, 3 years ago against Amanda Lemos. I remember doing a video on that fight like 5 years ago. I did a video on that fight 5 years ago, man. She fought 2 years ago against Hannah Goldie, 5 years ago since the Lemos fight. So there's a 3-year gap in between that fight. And then now a 2-year gap. So, and we don't even know if the fight is fully happening. We don't know if it's fully happening. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, so moving on here. All right, check this one. Check this fight. Talk a little bit about those. All right, let's move up the rankings. Let's move on up the rankings. All right. Here's another strawweight fight we got coming up. What's the date on this fight? Hold on. This is on is this a main event on a UFC Fight Night card? It is, right? September 13th. Yeah, this is September 13th. What am I talking about? UFC Noche. This ain't no main event. This is No, it ain't even co-main. Yeah. It's co-main event. Rocky and Norma is the 3rd fight down. This co-main event. It is a 3-round fight, though. Tatiana Suarez and Amanda Lemos. UFC Noche. It's going down. Here's another one, y'all. Going to get some hopefully get some like contrast in action here, whether it be wrestling or some striking. Amanda Lemos is number 4. Suarez is number 2. All right. Oh boy. I'm not going to say it. I am not going to say it because I love Suarez too much. I love Lemos. And I don't mean like y'all think. I'm just saying as fighters, I've been following them for a while, so I'm not going to say it. I am not going to say it. They both I'm going to just say they both lost to Wei Lee. That's all I'm going to say. Both lost to Wei Lee. And after watching that fight, both fights, there's a lot that needs to be done and developed for them to ever get on Wei Lee's level, right? There's a lot that needs to be done. Like, my question is, what do they do as far as what do they do in this fight? Well, no, my question is, what did they lose from those Wei Lee fights? Like, I wonder, because sometimes I wonder, like, I understand some of these fighters, they have to go in the mentality to win, but winning this fight, it'll put them back in the realm to possibly fight the champion again. Like, do they feel like, oh, like, if I win this fight, I got to go back and try to level up the fight so-and-so, whoever the champ is, and it being Wei Lee. Like, I got to fight Wei Lee again, so I got to level up, And I don't know if I'm ready for that. So, well, that's when you just got to get better. That's when you just got to get better as a fighter. And that's what I'm talking about with Aaron. Like, this is just a little pre-intro for what we talking about in the next show in like 15 minutes. All right. Make sure y'all get ready to jump on for that. That's the same thing with Aaron. Like, Aaron didn't fight for the belt. Aaron lost to Manon and she beat Rose, but there's still some levels that you have to ask, like, okay, if she lost to this fighter and just beat this fighter, like, okay, what does she got to do now to fight and be a threat to the champion, right? There's just some questions you have to like ask now. Same thing here, like Suarez beats Lemos, like, well, okay, what does she do to really improve moving forward? He said, get Patchy out of her corner. They both need to get an improved boxing coach. Number one, they need to get somebody that's going to improve their striking big time. Like, not each other, but they need like a professional coach. Call up Dewey Cooper or somebody. Call up Dewey Cooper. Go to Robert Garcia's gym, train with him. Somebody that can work with both of y'all, but not necessarily let y'all help each other, right? Not somebody you familiar with, but y'all got to work with someone like that, Lemos, man, like, her thing is like her power is just there, but sometimes she depends too much on it. I think she just depends too much on the power and she just doesn't set it up. Like, again, is she a true knockout artist? Got power, but she's just not setting it up. So we'll see how this fight goes, though, man. We'll see what they can do as far as like making us. Well, they'll never make us forget they'll never make us forget the Wei Lee performance. We'll never forget that fight between the both of them, right? So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, early look, I think Suarez has the ability to take a shot to get the fight to the ground and maybe win by using her wrestling, maybe leading to a finish in like the second or third. That's about it. I don't see her like winning purely on the feet. She's going to have to get this fight to the ground. Lemos has got to set her knockout punch up, though. She's got to set it up. Like, she just can't swing big, because you swing big once, you getting taken down, it's going to be over. It could easily be over in the first round, in my opinion, by, either submission or just like ground and pound. So, yeah, that's where I kind of sit with that as of right now. This is a potential matchup we could have. Yan Zhana versus G-Rob. This is a potential fight that could happen. because G-Rob wanted the Lemos fight, but they didn't give it to her. So they gave her this fight. You know, they gave her they gave Suarez that fight so they could give her this fight. I think they should give her this fight, man, because I think she's ready for it. You know, after Jan's last outing against Verna, she's definitely got to fight down. G-Rob's earning a higher level fighter. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see if Jan's takedown defense and her strength is enough to keep, and striking is enough to keep G-Rob off. Can G-Rob strike her way in and keep Yan Xiaonan down? This ain't scheduled yet either. This ain't scheduled yet either. So we'll see. I'm just looking. Let me look here. Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see anything yet. So go ahead and do this thing. Let's go ahead and do this thing, man. Yeah, let's make this fight happen. You know, let's make this one happen, man, because this is a fight that I think G-Rob has earned now. G-Rob has been consistent. G-Rob has been consistent at 115. She got a good stack of wins. Only lost to Tabitha Ricci. She's earned a top 10 spot. Fighting a number 3 would be nice because Lemos, Andrade, it's taken. Dern is looking for something higher. Ricci just fought. Lucindo's matched up. So Jillian at number 9. You know what? Don't be surprised if they try to, you know, sneak in the Dern fight too. That's a possibility. Dern could be a possibility too. So I wouldn't count that out. But to me, I think this is a fight here that could happen since, you know, Lemos and Jan can't fight. So I would put Jan in here with another grappler again to force her to get better with her takedown defense and so on. All right. But yeah, that's kind of what we got to look at as far as strawweight fights. Dern and Verna, you know, I've been talking about that one. I don't know where that one stands yet. I don't know what's going on with the title fight. Is Weili moving up? Is she going to defend her belt? Honestly, I think that it would be nice for Valentina to defend and Weili to defend and then just end it there. And then they can do their super fight. But I think everybody believes that Silva might win or Verna might win and might disrupt it. But it's possible. But if they both win their fights, that would make the super fight look even more better. So I don't know. I don't know if Weili's going to move up yet. Like, this has really been low key. It's really been a lot of silence on that side. It really has. Like, we just don't know. We just don't know. So yeah, Mackenzie's trying to make her move. You know, she's trying to squeeze in there and get a title shot. I'm just looking down the rankings. That's about all we have right now. So yeah, like I said, we got some things happening on the lower half. Some girls to look out for, like Klein, Thainera, Chanel Dyer. She gets signed, but girls right now, you can really look at her like Jillian Robertson. She's right there. She's like the newest face of the top 10 for me that I'm really interested in right now because everybody else has kind of been there and done that. So we'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. But got 8 minutes to this next show. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, get some water to jump back on. All right. So if you enjoyed this show, hit the like and subscribe. And I will be back for round 2 in less than 8 minutes. All right. So with that, shout out to everybody in the chat. Don't go away. I'll be right back.